What's going on, all my wrestlers out there? This is the Wrestling Files. I'm Mighty Q, and today it's going to be a different conversation. But before anything like that, a huge thank you to you guys. As always, I can't do what I do without you guys. And with those two merch links are going to be down in the description. The Mighty Q shop does have new wrestling merch. So as we come into Christmas, if you want your parents to get you something, there's an easy way. There's a bunch of wrestling merch on there. If you just want to get yourself something, if you want your relatives, you want to get something for your teammate, whatever you want to do, it's down there. It's in the description. Go check it out. Take a look. But today, what I wanted to talk about is there's been a lot of people that ask me like what to do at tournaments. Like, what do you do in the downtime? Like, what do you do like in general at tournaments? Like, what's the time frame? And for me, it's kind of a little bit different, especially now as we go into 2022. I mean, when I first started wrestling compared to now, I mean, wrestling tournaments are completely different to a degree. I mean, when I first started wrestling, it was like you'd weigh in, and then from weigh-ins, you'd have, your warm-up time, about an hour, hour and a half, as the brackets were made and things like that. And then you get rolling into the first couple matches, and pretty much that's where the downtime started. So we used to have to do everything off of paper brackets and paper bouts, and now everybody has track wrestling or everything's on flow. You can see exactly when you're going to be up. You can see when your bout is. You can see how far away. You can see your bracket. You can see automated updates. You can see a lot of different things that change based off technology. The same goes for if you are using like track wrestling or flow wrestling. A lot of times, people who aren't physically at the tournament can see what you're doing. Where with the paper brackets and the paper bouts, you weren't able to do that when I was wrestling. That was something that if you wanted to see the tournament, you had to be at the tournament. Otherwise, you were getting text updates or call updates. And even then, no one really was kind of doing that because most of us didn't have cell phones, especially when I first started. I didn't have a phone until I don't even know how many years into wrestling. And then when it comes into like in between matches and stuff to do. I mean, I used to listen to music all the time. When I first started, I had a CD player, and then that then moved to an MP3 player, that then moved to an iPod, and then eventually farther down the line, ended up going through a couple different iPods. I had the iPod Touch, and then ended up with an iPhone. So that's kind of how I killed time. I listen to music all the time. I still currently listen to music all the time. I'll throw my headphones on, sit and chill out. Music is really good for me in passing time. It takes my mind off of things. It can kind of take me out of reality for a little while. I can sit back and relax. I also watch a lot of YouTube. So if you're in between a match, you're wanting to it's going to be a good length of time, throw some YouTube on, kill some time, listen to music. I try to stay away now from social medias in terms of Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all that stuff. It's like, yes, I'm still on it. But my consumption of those apps has drastically shrunk. I try to not spend too much time being on those different apps and stuff. I mean, like I said, I still am on them, but my consumption time has drastically shrunk. I mean, I'd probably say I'm a tenth of what I used to be. I'm really only on it, a handful of minutes a day for each, and not really spending much time on it. And I feel my life is actually a lot better now that I'm not spending a lot of time on these different apps. And not just sitting there scrolling and just endlessly scrolling, because we know that scroll never ends. There is no stopping point when you're scrolling, which is how you get hooked into it. I'd also say read a book. That could be a great way to pass time. I know some people sleep between matches. I was never a big person to sleep between matches just because there's a lot of different noise, all the different whistles going on. You hear the people yelling in the stands, you hear the coaches yelling, there's just a lot of different noise. So for me, I never really slept. I was always too alert with all the different noises and stuff going on. Some people tuned it out, no problem. They threw headphones in and they were out in the stands. So for some of you, hey, you can sleep. And then for most of you, something that I think you really should start doing, since most of you that do watch are in school, try to do your schoolwork, try to get ahead, try to get to some degree, at least get your work done. I'm not saying you need to sit there and grind it out and study the entire time, but get your homework done. It's downtime. It's easy time. If you have math homework, you have science homework, whatever, just get it done. Like, it's free time. You're sitting there. It's something you have to do anyways. You're going to be sitting there thinking about it of like, oh, I could be doing my math homework or I could be doing my science homework. It's like, just get it done. Just get it over with. Um, Now, I'm not saying do that right up until your match, because at the end of the day, when it comes time, when you know what your match is coming up, you're getting, within that 30-minute window, that's kind of when you need to start going into your regular pre-match routine. I know some people have a certain playlist that they listen to, some people have a certain video that they watch or whatever, they get in the right mindset. I always say about 15 to 30 minutes is a pretty good window of when you're coming up and you know that you're about to wrestle. To kind of stop what you're doing and then turn and focus fully in on the match. And another thing to do is watch wrestling. That's a great way to get better at wrestling, is watching wrestling. The more you watch, the more you're able to see, the more you're able to learn. You may not think that you're learning something right away. You could be seeing some people wrestle. You could be seeing some guys wrestle. You can be seeing something. You might see a new move. You might see a new counter to something. You might see a new defense. Whatever it may be, that is a very easy way and a very good way of getting better at wrestling, is, again, watching a lot of it, consuming a lot of it, and it's all around you while you're there. Spend time with your teammates, get to know your teammates even better, hanging out with them, walking around the tournament, checking out different brackets. At the same time, meet different people. Meet people from different other teams. You can meet different coaches. You can talk with them about different stuff. Now, this is that kind of fine line to walk, because where you need to be, yes, going out meeting new people, and it's good to meet new teammates, meet other people. Don't be the guy that's like going about it in a fake manner. Don't be the guy that's kind of just going around like meeting, talking to people and like bragging about yourself. Don't do it like that. Be genuinely interested in meeting people. People are able to kind of tell. Everyone has a bullshit meter, and if you're kind of going into it of like, oh, this is all about me, this is all what I wanted, it's not going to fly. People are going to be able to sense that. If you're genuinely wanting to meet other people, then go meet other people. At the same time, if that's not your style, you're more introverted, you're not really into going and do it, then don't. But it is important to hang out with your teammates. It is important to be there and support them, because with you guys being in different weight classes, they're going to wrestle at different times than you are. So really, out of anything, I mean, you could honestly just like bounce around and watch your different teammates wrestle, because I know most of them are going to be spread out all across your different weights. So that's a way to do it. But like I said, importantly, I listen to music a ton. Music is a great thing for me. It calms my mind, calms my body, gets me ready. And at the same time, a different set of music can get me perfectly locked in for a match, gets me in the right mental state, and gets me locked and loaded there. So it's 2022. I mean, there's pretty much endless things that you can do, especially the fact that we all have cell phones. I mean, you can run a full-scale business from your phone at this point. So it's like, in terms of like what to do at a wrestling match, or wrestling tournament, it's kind of whatever you want. There's so many things to do. It's like, it's hard for me to sit here and be like, oh, you should do these things, because everyone's different. Everyone does things a little bit different. Like I said, I'm really big into music. I listen to a lot of music, so that was always easy for me. But I know some people aren't as big into that. Some people do like books more, or some people just really enjoy sitting and watching wrestling, which is important because you're at a wrestling tournament, so you should probably do that. I don't know. It's up to you guys. You do what you want. Just make sure that by the time it comes and your match is coming up, that you're ready for your match, and you're locked in and ready to go. So that's kind of all I got for you guys today, because it was kind of an interesting question, and I was like, I don't know what kind of did I used to do at tournaments, and what I used to do was listen to music and watch wrestling. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you guys know to go ahead and leave it in the comments below. But as always, do the fun YouTube stuff, likes, comments, shares, subscribe, get the bell on. Thank you, as always. And then, of course, go check out those 2 merch links and pick up yourself some wrestling gear, because it is a new drop, and we're coming into the Christmas time, and everyone knows around Christmas it's always hard to find a gift for somebody, and especially as wrestlers, this is perfect wrestling merch that applies directly to us. There's some pretty cool stuff. If you guys have any other ideas on merch that you'd like to see, also go ahead and leave a comment. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So I will catch you guys on the next one. So that's it. Peace.